subscribe. Darling Radio. Like and subscribe.
Let's get Bernadette. Miss Bernadette. It's a white woman named Bernadette. What's up, Bernadette? We're great, Bernadette. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing great. I listened to a lot of this, and I hear a lot of the white and against black and that narrative,
Okay.
which I can't. To me, I think that it's um, being a white woman who's not prejudiced by any means, and I don't see color. Um, and I don't see a lot of that amongst my peers. Um, I do my black friends. I do see them when they get together. The conversation becomes that. Um, uh, as far as the kid was concerned and all that, I heard somebody say, "Well, basically, downing the white kid." A child was killed, regardless of what color he was. A child was killed, and you know what? Why did this kid have a knife going to a game anyway? Makes zero
It does.
sense.
It does. Yeah, you're at a game and you have people who are not at the school or going to the school because this wasn't at the school property itself. The school district owns that field, from what I understand, but it wasn't technically at the school. But it's an outside event where people who are non-students, you have adults and other strangers going to this venue. So you never know what's going to happen there. So you have a night. People, that's Texas. Texas, you get guns at Walmarts in Texas. You know, so people have weapons.
Well, I'm from Texas, and so yeah, everybody in Texas, pretty much carries a weapon.
Right.
But
And knowing that I'm
but
gonna have something.
but you know what?
Yeah.
But kids in school going to a game carrying a weapon makes zero sense.
Yeah, a little
That's
knife. You got a knife in your backpack and you don't know what the knife is for. The knife could be used to cut things at your job or whatever, a little pocket knife. You're in the country, so people have little tools and things in their bags in the country. So yeah, and you have a right to have a
but
knife.
I think y'all are reaching on that because I mean
We're
it's
reaching.
I think you're
That's
reaching.
not
I
a
think
reach,
you're
beloved. People have knives and guns all over Texas. You go to Texas,
but but that's like saying I go to get a manicure and I'm carrying a knife and I whip it out to stab somebody while I'm getting my nails done. It
but
makes
no,
zero
you're not. You're
sense.
not. No, no. If somebody at the nail shop attacked you, then it would behoove you to have a knife so that you can protect yourself or any other weapon. And
Well, if this boy who killed this other boy, because they're still children and a life was lost regardless. And if he can react with a knife to kill somebody, I don't think he's quite that innocent as you're trying to portray
why
him to
wouldn't he
be.
be?
Well, look at his past photos.
What about him?
Well, he's got photos with him holding rifles and you know doing his little you know
So
thug
does
stuff. So
Austin. So does Austin had guns too, right?
well, Austin didn't get up and stab
He
somebody.
got up and assaulted somebody, and he has pictures with
How do you?
guns. So who knows if Austin would have pulled out a gun? Nobody knows that. And you just
But
walk you
it's turned into a white black thing instead of what it actually is. It's kids at a
no, it's
football
not just
game.
kids at a football game. It is a white black thing because now people in the dominant society, the main ones talking about self defense, stand your ground by all means. all stand your ground is justified. Now everybody's reneging on that stand your ground narrative now, based on race. Now that a black kid stood his ground, practiced self-defense, like everybody's been running around here yelling, now it's a problem. That is race-based. So yes,
I don't think anybody's backing off the stand your
they
ground
are,
scenario.
because now they're making every excuse. This man, this young boy, was assaulted, and he had every right in the state of Texas to stand his ground. You have no duty to retreat. You can use lethal force if you feel like you're in imminent danger in the state of Texas, ma'am. This is their law, right?
And I know the law quite well as a former police officer in Houston. So
Oh,
I do know the law
so
quite
you were a
well.
cop in Houston. Man, man, man. So you already know, Miss Bernadette. You know what it is. You know the law better than anybody, right?
Well, I don't know the law better than anybody, but I do know that, you're still talking about innocent children,
It wasn't that.
you know,
No, no,
and
he's
and
not
I hear
innocent.
a lot of,
He assaulted somebody. That's not
but
really
but
innocent.
y'all are pushing a lot of this race. I mean, even down to the Diddy case. That to me, I mean, your narrative on the Diddy case was, well, you know, she stuck around and that woman was abused. It was, I mean, I don't know. Plenty of women stick around when they're abused.
Really?
A lot of times women don't know how to get out of a situation or they can't get out of a
Yeah,
situation.
you can just leave. Just get the hell on and leave.
Well, I don't, it's not always that simple.
Right. And yeah, nobody's forcing her to have threesomes. They just leave. She's an adult, right?
Well, irregardless, she's not the one on trial, so it
Right,
doesn't matter.
right, right.
So at the end of the day, they can say whatever about her, but they still turn around and go ahead and commit him because, well, he's stuck. He's trying to say he didn't do all this stuff, but yet he did. So the
Well, what's the
argument's not even there either.
because no,
So you
no.
don't have an argument on either one of those two
I do.
cases.
Well, with the Diddy case, he has a RICO
No, I know.
charge. And what the hell has he got a RICO charge for? Who is he sex trafficking? See, that don't make no sense whatsoever. He wasn't making revenue from selling sex and trafficking sex. That's what sex trafficking is. So they kind of redefine what the definition of sex trafficking is. Wasn't sex trafficking. So my thing is, yeah, if you beat somebody, okay, charge them for beating somebody. Don't charge them for some far-fetched bullshit based on race and the RICO Mann Act.
So you think Diddy's locked up because of a
It
race
is
issue?
because they're using the Mann
Oh
Act.
my
Yeah,
lord!
they're using something called the Mann Act, and they've only used that primarily on black people. And the law was created for black people. They created it for Jack Johnson in the early 19
They created what law?
the Mann Act,
For,
the sex
oh,
trafficking, taking people across state lines for immoral purposes. That was called the White Slave Trafficking Act. And it was something that they used on Jack Johnson because he was having sexual relations with a lot of white women. And they created a law in order to get him. And they've used that same law for Diddy. They've used that same law for R. Kelly. They reserved that law for black men primarily. And I don't go for any racially based laws that's only applied to certain races of people. I don't co-sign that whatsoever. And I don't co-sign stand your ground laws that only protects one group of people. It has to be protective all across the board. If you got
but it
it's
is.
not,
You know what?
it's not,
There
ma'am.
are plenty of people in Texas, plenty of Black, Hispanic, Asian that have stood their ground and aren't being prosecuted.
Ma'am, I haven't seen it, and
So
the thing is, it when it's a
But you live in California, don't
right,
you?
I do, but I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas all the time. When you have situations where a black person is defending themselves from a white person, there's this unwritten rule that a black person is never supposed to defend themselves. You have no right to defend yourself from a white person. There's been this
But that's an
that
opinion. That's
well,
not a rule. That's an
that's an
opinion.
ma'am, based on fact and precedent and common law, it's been shown over and over again. A white person is supposed to do anything they want to a black person, and you're not supposed to defend yourself. That's an unwritten rule. And when black people defend themselves, they get prosecuted. When
That is not true. That's not true.
ma'am,
I mean, there's people in Houston all the time that are being shot at a damn stoplight by black men, whether they're shooting each other or they're shooting white people. So it goes.
you're proving my point. You know
You're
that,
you're
you're kind of proving my point, ma'am. You what you
no,
said.
you're pulling a race card is all you're
No, but
doing.
what you said didn't disprove what I just said, beloved. You're proving my point. Black people, again, and you didn't dispute that. You just kind of went into some tangent. But black people are never supposed to defend themselves from white people. Show me a case where a black person got off for defending himself against a white person. Show me some cases in Texas or anywhere.
There's plenty of
Let's name them,
them.
dear. Let's name them.
I have sat in plenty of courtrooms and had to testify. So there's plenty of them.
Name them.
Oh my lord! There, are, all you have to do is Google them.
Yeah, yeah, Google was like, nothing here to see. Now we see cases all the time of white people shooting black people, choking black people, and being able to say it was self-defense or I feared for my life. It doesn't work in the reverse, though. Black people can never really get to say they feared for their lives when there's a white person threatening them. So, yeah, that makes it race based when there's a system that will protect the white perpetrator instead of the black victim. We live in a country, man, where people in the dominant white society would lynch black folks and then take pictures of it and send the photos around the country, ma'am. That's the
Okay,
level.
but you're living in the past. You're living in the
Oh,
past.
no, 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 no.
I
That
think
same that no,
society
no,
has
no. That
progressed.
that same
You don't think
narrative,
society's
that
progressed?
same narrative is here, ma'am. The same lynch mob narrative is alive and well today. The,
I don't see white people running around lynching black people.
because we
Okay, so
because we
here's your
fight
case.
back, ma'am.
Here's
No, slow down, slow
what you
down,
just shoot
slow
people
down.
at the.
Slow. This is where we are. That slow
Here's a
down,
case
slow
for you.
down,
Andrew
slow
Coffey,
down,
black
slow
man.
down. Because this is what we're talking about. You say we don't see it now because yeah, we're fighting back, and now the dominant society they're fighting us back. Yeah, so some of the same Jim Crow tactics where you run up on a black person like they would do Rosa Parks and tell her to get up out of the seat. Yeah, that would go down.
Uh,
Yeah, that went down
um,
at one point, and they still try to do it now, which is what Austin tried to do. Tried to run down on a black male and tell him to get up out of a seat as if we're in the 1950s, and then it went a certain way. So yeah, that same lynch mob Jim Crow mindset is still here, Bernadette. That's the problem, right?
I
You what, dear? Okay, Bernadette, let me get cousin Jerry in here. Let me get cousin Jerry in the building. I got cousin Jerry in here.
Hey,
What's up,
Flex.
cuz? How are you, brother?
Pretty good about
I
yourself.
am good. We got Miss Bernadette here, cousin Jerry.
Miss Bernadette, how you doing this evening?
Miss Bernadette, you here? I don't know if she.
Miss Bernadette? Well,
Go ahead.
anyway, Flex,
yes, sorry about that.
oh, okay. Um, I played sports. I'm from Alabama. I'm a country boy. I played in county schools. I ran track. I played baseball. At sporting events, first of all, I want to talk about the tent thing. Um, Yes, every team pretty much had their own tent set up, but it was a courtesy and it was sportsmanship. If someone from another team was under your tent, you showed them sportsmanship because your guy may be under their tent or somebody may get hurt on your side, and it was considered good sportsmanship to not be a hole to that person. So, and secondly, it's always a lot of cousins, uncles, brothers, because when we played sports, we would go to places that didn't have any black people there. So a lot of guys from the neighborhood would go with us for protection just in case that something jumped off. So some of this, and now this is the part that I want you to understand. I have a picture when I was in the fourth grade from 1982. That was the first time that we had a racial incident. And the guy wore a shirt, the picture day, that said the South shall rise again. So that was the first time me and a couple of my friends got suspended and had to go through psychological tests, had to just a bunch of nonsense. And the good thing that I had a good father, he was able to shut down and maneuver through a lot of these things. So that inherent black, angry, no, we have a right to defend ourselves because there are a lot of people that still believe in those old ways. Because I don't care how we try and frame the narrative that we're in a post-racial society. No, let's not forget, and I'm gonna land my plane here, Flex.
Uh-huh.
The last Donald Trump administration, some of our white brothers acted real ill toward us. So what y'all are seeing is black folks are saying, listen, since y'all acted that way last time, if y'all do it this time, we're gonna act the same way with you.
Mhm.
And so I'm landing my plane on this one.
Thank you so much. So yeah, Bernadette. See, cousin Jerry brings up a good point. At these games, and let's be very real, especially in the South, a lot of black athletes have had incidents with white students in places being racially hostile at some of these games. There's a long history of that. Let's be very clear. We hear stories all the time where black kids go somewhere and the white kids are throwing stuff at the bus, the white kids are threatening them, and all of this weird stuff. So there's a lot of hostility there. So you never know what these people are going to do. And this has been a thing for a long time. This isn't new. So again, that Jim Crow thing, it's still a thing. So you don't,
I think that can work both ways, though. That works both ways.
no,
I've seen black kids do the same thing to white kids.
no, they don't.
So yeah, oh
No, they
yes,
don't.
it works
They
both
don't.
ways.
They don't. They do
Black
not.
kids do not get on the school bus and sit there and hold their hands
They're not
underneath
beating
their
up
legs
white
and
kids. They're not. They're not. You're
oh
not going to
Lord
tell
have
that.
mercy.
They're not. Black kids are not running down on the white team's buses. They do not do that at all. You're not going to get that lie off at all.
So where you say that black kids
Don't
don't
do
do
that at
this.
all. They're not going to run
So all
down
the
when the
black kids
white
just they
when the white kids
they
show,
carry
ma'am.
themselves
You're
to
not,
school.
ma'am.
No, you are saying something that you are.
You're going to tell me about my culture. I know black kids. And I know how we roll.
So
We don't sit in if
well,
if we're playing a sports or whatever,
I know white
yeah,
kids, and I know how they
yeah, you
roll.
know how violent they get when they see that they have an advantage over black kids and the black kids are outnumbered or whatever, they run down on them. There's a lot of racial incidents, even in professional sports, ma'am. Even no,
I
no, no,
raised
no, no,
two.
we can't, no,
Wait,
no,
wait.
no, because you're not going to might not say so. Even in damn professional sports right now, let's talk turkey here. You have grown professional athletes who are black talk about the racism they experience in games and in certain cities. Almost every athlete talks about the racism in Boston. That's like the most racist city ever for a black athlete. You got black athletes who go around the country and are racially taunted to the point where they have to have certain rules about throwing people out for racially taunting people. Black folks don't do that. You don't see black people racially taunting white players nowhere. You don't see it, ma'am. That's the reality. You don't have black people standing up in the bleachers and everybody has on different letters in their shirt with the word cracker on it. You don't see that. We see them doing the N-word thing, though. There was a video or a picture that just went viral at some school game where a bunch of white kids had the N-word spelled out on their shirts. They do little racial shit like that all the time, ma'am. So being in denial about it doesn't negate the reality that it happens, ma'am, right? Miss Bernadette, Officer Bernadette? Officer Bernadette, are you here, dear? Uh-oh, I think she's in there making some Dolly
You
Parton muffins. What's up, Miss? You here, Bernadette?
you keep muting
Uh,
me, so you just want to hear your own narrative.
No, ma'am. I just want to we're gonna have to spit truth to power. That's all I'm saying.
No, you haven't spit any
I
truth.
haven't.
All you're doing is you're pushing lies. You're pushing racism and
What lies
lies.
have I pushed, Officer Bernadette?
You- Everything you're pushing is nothing but
What did I
lies.
lie about?
This is
Name
the
it. Name the
problem.
lie.
This is why. This
Officer
is why.
Bernadette, no. See, if you say something, you got to stop and then acknowledge what you said and prove it. What did I say? Anything that I said here is a lie. One thing. What did I say that was a lie? Okay, did she leave? Okay. She left. Okay. Well, she turned into a Karen real quick and left. All right, if I'm telling a lie, point out the lie. Officer Bernadette, with your bleach blonde hairspray, looking like an extra on the TV show Hee Haw. Y'all remember Hee Haw? That's what she looked like. She got that old school Dolly Parton hairstyle. Now, buddy, the black kids do it too. See, I told y'all when they call up here talking, you know what? I don't see color. We're all God's people. I wish we can get over it. When y'all hear that, when y'all hear that nonsense, here we go. Just keep talking. That's why I let them keep talking. It'll come on out. Yeah, I don't see color. Everybody's the same, you know. I don't have a racist bone in my body, but that black kid shouldn't have had a knife. He was the aggressor. Oh, no, no, no. They start talking about how they don't see race and then go right into some white supremacist shit. It never fails. It never damn fails. These people are so damn predictable at this point. Oh, man. Where's Miriam? Miriam, you in here? I heard Miriam is in here. Miriam, where you at? Y'all hop on in here. We in the building. We are up here in this building, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get some more calls in here, family. Y'all raise your hand. We got how many people in here? Damn near 2,000 people in the building. So y'all need to get on up in here. Let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about this thing, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2,000 people almost in here. Raise the hands. Let's get let me see. I don't know. Do I want to hear from RJ right now? Let's get Miss Stacy. Let's get Miss Stacy in the building. Miss Stacy in the building. What's up, Miss Stacy?
Yeah, I was so tired of listening to her. I literally just got off a plane, just got back home from visiting my son in Alaska. You remember the one that went to Hawaii?
Yes.
So, and I had such a wonderful, I'm gonna use your word, phenomenal time.
Yeah.
My birthday was
Uh,
Saturday. So, I went to a hot springs. I was chilling.
yes.
I was not thinking about no protests.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but this Karen, I'm like, you racist ass biatch, because ain't nobody got time. As soon as she opened her mouth and said, I'm not prejudiced, I said, oh Lord, here we go.
Mhm.
I almost left because I said, I can't listen to no more of this BS. It was, my ears are literally bleeding. They get on my nerves. Basically, what she was saying is that whole Okay, why don't you guys get over it? You know what? To me, that translation equals let us do what we want to do to y'all and
Right.
stop complaining about it.
Right. Right.
Ain't nobody doing all that. We done with all that. You know, all the like you talked about the Kyle Rittenhouse, that other dude, and you mentioned something about lynch. She said something about lynchings. Oh, they don't do that anymore. Well, okay, so those two twins that went missing or somebody found and took pictures. What was that?
Right.
So she's sitting up there. She's a race soldier and she's freaking liar. And I'm just so pissed off about that because I'm tired. I'm tired of them lying. I'm tired of any other people coming up defending the stuff that these kids do. Let me tell you something about that whole what was he doing with a knife? Protection.
Right.
You can have protection anywhere you
But
go.
Texas pride themselves on guns and
Right.
weapons
Right.
and I can take my gun anywhere and I can go to they
Right.
pride themselves on that. But when it's black folks,
And I'm in California, and here's an example. When my older sister, when she was in high school back in the late 80s, and she had to go to work, and she came home crying one day because some crazy dude jumped off the bus and was yelling at people and kicked at her, and I think it hit her in the hand or something. My mama went out that day and bought my sister a pocket knife to carry with her.
mm,
My mama used to keep an ice pick in her Jeep on the side, on the door side. So if somebody was to walk up to her, she would pull that sucker out. My mama don't play. She walk with a fist balled up. We from South Central
yeah,
LA. My mama from Texas. So, and the thing is, for her to sit there and say, well, why is he carrying, why are these boys, two big old white punks, bullying one dude? He have a right to go to a doggone game. And I'm gonna go ahead and land my plane real quick. But one last thing I just want to say is, FBA family, we need to stop going places by ourselves. I'm not
yeah,
blaming this young man by any means, but I really, really, really wish he had somebody there with him that could have either recorded or had his back or had some help, because it's a shame what he has to go through right now, all because of I'm white and I say so.
mhm.
This is coming to an end. This I'm white and I say so. This coming to an end real soon, and I can feel it.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm gonna go ahead and land my
Thank you so
plane.
much, dear. But yeah, that whole narrative, why did he have a knife? What the hell you mean? To protect himself, self-defense. Yeah, you at a game, I don't know, he walked there or whatever. But yeah, you out in a public place by yourself. You don't know what's going to go down. Yeah, people out there in Texas, you pride yourselves on being able to protect yourself in a state where everybody's running around with weapons. So yeah, you don't have something. Hell, you don't know if somebody's going to rob you or try to steal something from you. You don't know. So you're just going to have something. Have a little something in your bag. Everybody got something. Some pepper spray, a little pocket knife, or a rape whistle, something. You see? So yeah, let's not play this game. But yeah, this whole thing where we're not supposed to defend ourselves, damn that. Like black folks, we have no right for self-defense. Damn that. And this whole thing, just like these Karens are calling up, talking about um kind of get over racism. Why don't we get over it? Why are we living in the past? That translates into your pain makes me uncomfortable. So be quiet. Just get over it. Yeah. Because see what we do when we talk about systematic white supremacy, see that forces the dominant white society to confront their privilege, history, and complicity with systematic racism. And they like to avoid that because they like the benefits of it. So they don't want to talk about it. They want to pretend that it doesn't exist. So when they tell us to get over it, they're saying, well, I don't want to be held accountable for my ancestors and their actions in the current system I benefit from. That's what they're really saying. See, that deflects responsibility from historic injustices and ongoing structural racism, police violence, wealth gaps, education inequality. judicial inequality. So they tell us basically when they say get over it, your lived experiences don't matter to me. That's what that means. That's why you don't tell no other group to get over it. When they talk about what happened to the red natives, you respect that history. When they say what happened to people during the Holocaust, you have to respect that to a certain degree. When you talk about all these other groups, what happened to them, that's respected to a certain degree. But black folks, the trauma and the discrimination and the psychological toll is always invalidated. And what we endure now, it's like, oh, just get over it. It wasn't so bad. You're not the only ones. It's that nonsense, you see. And this whole thing is them basically telling us we're only allowed to heal if we pretend the wound never happened. See, healing requires acknowledgement of the wound and then justice and repairing of the wound, telling somebody to get over the oppression that they levied on you without addressing it, repairing it, correcting it. It's like, okay, try to heal without remedying the wound that I inflicted. It's never going to heal correctly because you keep opening the wound every day. You see? And what they're doing now, they're opening the wound, we're bleeding, and they're telling us that they're not doing it. Like, what blood? You did that to yourself. What about black on black crime? No, you're doing it. And we're saying enough is enough. So there's going to be some other blood going. That's what the narrative is now. So shit, I'm not going to be the only one bleeding. And now they want to say, oh, wait a minute now. Come on now. Y'all don't want to go there. You see? And also, they don't want us talking about it because, see, that's a threat to the narrative that keeps them in power. See, racism being acknowledged means that the American myth of fairness and meritocracy that falls apart. So telling us to get over it is for us to not talk about it so they can sit here and pretend that everything is merit based and that they're not practicing this cruel ass systematic injustice every damn day. You see? Because get over it means they don't want to stop, they don't want to change, so just stop demanding justice. So telling us to move on, the dominant society, they're saying basically they have no intention of dismantling or even questioning the system of white supremacy. That's why it's our job to do that. You see? Because their whole narrative is that we should be grateful for what we have, even if they gave it to us begrudgingly. See, they believe they gave us something. No, you didn't. We had to get everything out the mud. And see, there's an ongoing underlining resentment that Black people are complaining despite perceived progress. See, Bernadette, she started talking about, there's some progress. You're trying to say there isn't progress? What progress? We still live under the same system of racism. We, foundational Black Americans, just don't tolerate the same level of racism that y'all are continuing to levy at us. They haven't changed. The white supremacists, they've not changed. The only thing that has changed is us. They just literally can't do the shit they used to do to us because we'll whoop their ass and stab them. That's just what it is. That's just literally what it is. They would love to do that shit. They would love to lynch us in trees and gather around. We would whoop their asses if they do it like that. So they have to just kind of use different tactics now. They have to use the police now. That don't work like they think it works. You dig? But they would love to still do the same stuff they were doing during Jim Crow. They would love to do it. The fact is, we don't allow that no more. And this is why this case with Carmelo is so interesting for them right now. This is why all eyes are on this case, because now it's like, hey, black folks are like, hey, we're gonna defend ourselves. If you come at us with the bullshit, we're not just gonna sit here and be yelling and all that. Hey, man, if we got to defend ourselves from a threat, so be it. So they really want to make sure that Black folks are punished for standing up for themselves.